The Miami Mall bustled with the usual energy of shoppers milling about, their voices mingling with the soft hum of music drifting from the stores. It was a typical day, nothing out of the ordinary, until an unsettling disturbance shattered the tranquility. Without warning, a rip in the fabric of reality tore open, a swirling vortex of darkness materializing in the heart of the bustling mall. Gasps of shock and disbelief filled the air as onlookers recoiled in horror at the sight unfolding before them. From within the ominous portal emerged towering figures, their forms obscured by a veil of darkness that seemed to pulse and writhe like living shadows. They moved with an otherworldly grace, their every movement fluid and sinuous as they stepped onto the polished floors of the mall. The crowd erupted into chaos, a cacophony of screams and panic shouts echoing through the halls as people scrambled to flee from the advancing figures. Storefronts were abandoned, forgotten shopping bags left behind as a tide of fear swept through the crowd. Outside, the scene was no less terrifying as the portal continued to spew forth its dark denizens. The sky overhead seemed to darken as if in response to the malevolent presence now looming over the mall. Sirens wailed in the distance as police cars descended upon the scene, their flashing lights casting an eerie glow over the chaotic tableau. Officers swarmed the area, shouting orders and attempting to corral the panicked crowd as they streamed out of the mall, their faces twisted with terror. But despite their efforts, it was clear that this was no ordinary threat. The authorities were ill-equipped to deal with such an otherworldly menace, their weapons and tactics woefully inadequate against the enigmatic invaders. And amidst the turmoil, I stood frozen in place, my heart pounding in my chest as I beheld the surreal spectacle unfolding before me. Little did I know that this encounter would mark the beginning of a journey that would take me to the very edge of existence and back again. Time seemed to slow to a crawl as I stood rooted to the spot, my eyes fixed on the looming figure that had emerged from the depths of the portal. Its form was shrouded in darkness, a silhouette against the backdrop of chaos that engulfed them all. Every instinct screamed at me to run, to flee from this incomprehensible threat, but my body refused to obey. The alien's eyes, twin orbs of unfathomable darkness, bore into mine with a penetrating intensity that sent shivers down my spine. It was as if it could see into the very depths of my soul, stripping away every pretense and leaving me exposed and vulnerable. A cold sweat broke out across my brow as I struggled to comprehend the gravity of the situation. This was no chance encounter, no random act of cosmic happenstance. It was a deliberate incursion, a calculated assault on the very fabric of our reality. And then, in a voice that seemed to resonate within the very depths of my mind, the alien spoke. Its words were like a whisper on the edge of perception, faint yet unmistakable in their clarity. The reptilian race, it intoned, its voice carrying an ominous weight, seeks retribution for the sins of your kind. They are a warrior species, born and bred for conflict, and they will stop at nothing to claim what they believe is rightfully theirs. My blood ran cold as the full weight of its words sank in. This was no mere invasion, it was a declaration of war, a warning of the horrors to come if we dared to stand in their way. And as the last echoes of its voice faded into the ether, I knew that the fate of humanity hung in the balance, teetering on the brink of oblivion. The journey through the cosmos was a surreal blur of swirling stars and ethereal landscapes, as if I had been transported to a realm beyond the bounds of mortal comprehension. The alien beings who accompanied me moved with an otherworldly grace, their forms shimmering with an iridescent light that seemed to defy the laws of physics. As we traversed the vast expanse of space, I couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the sheer majesty of the universe unfolding before me. It was a journey into the unknown, a voyage into the depths of existence itself, and I was but a mere passenger along for the ride. But all too soon, the journey came to an end, and I found myself standing once more on the familiar soil of Earth. Yet instead of the warm embrace of loved ones and the accolades of a grateful populace, I was met with the harsh reality of incarceration. The federal detention cell was a stark contrast to the boundless expanse of the cosmos, its cold steel bars serving as a grim reminder of the limits of human understanding. and as I sat alone in the darkness, I couldn't help but wonder what awaited me on the other side of those bars. Outside, the government clamored for answers, their desperation palpable in every word and gesture. They demanded to know what I had seen, what I had been told by those enigmatic beings from beyond the stars. But try as I might, I found it difficult to put into words the ineffable truths that had been revealed to me, the cosmic secrets that lay hidden just beyond the veil of reality. And so, as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, I remained trapped in a limbo of uncertainty, unsure of what the future held in store. All I knew for certain was that the world had changed irrevocably, and that I had been forever altered by the journey into the unknown. As news of the impending invasion spread like wildfire, a sense of dread descended upon the highest echelons of power like a suffocating shroud. The realization that humanity stood on the brink of annihilation sent shockwaves rippling through governments and institutions worldwide. In the hallowed halls of power, frantic meetings were held behind closed doors, urgent whispers exchanged in hushed tones as leaders grappled with the enormity of the threat looming on the horizon. Plans that had once seemed unthinkable were now set into motion with a sense of grim determination, as the countdown to humanity's darkest hour began in earnest. 5 years. That was all the time that remained until the reptilian forces descended upon Earth, their intentions clear and their resolve unshakable. It was a mere blink of an eye in the grand scheme of things, a fleeting moment in the vast expanse of time, and yet it held the fate of the entire planet in its grasp. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, the world watched with bated breath as preparations for the coming storm reached a fever pitch. Resources were mobilized on an unprecedented scale, vast sums of money poured into research and development, and alliances were forged with nations once considered enemies in the face of a common threat. But even as humanity braced itself for the ultimate showdown, there lingered a sense of uncertainty in the air, a gnawing fear that no amount of preparation could ever truly quell. For the reptilian forces were a formidable adversary, their technology far surpassing anything mankind had ever encountered, and their determination matched only by their ruthlessness. And so, as the countdown to oblivion ticked ever closer to zero, humanity stood on the precipice of its greatest challenge yet, ready to face whatever horrors the future might hold with courage and resolve. For in the end, it was not the strength of our weapons or the size of our armies that would determine our fate, but the indomitable spirit of the human race, forged in the crucible of adversity and tempered by the fires of survival. As the fateful day drew near, tension gripped the world like a vice, suffusing the air with a palpable sense of dread. The countdown had reached its final moments, and humanity stood on the precipice of its darkest hour, facing an adversary unlike any it had ever known. But just when all hope seemed lost, a glimmer of light pierced the suffocating darkness, heralding a twist of fate that would alter the course of history forever. It began with whispers on the wind, rumors of a plan so audacious, so daring, that it bordered on the realm of fantasy. Cunning strategists pored over maps and blueprints, their brows furrowed in concentration as they devised a plan that would defy the odds and turn the tide of battle in humanity's favor. Unyielding courage coursed through the veins of every soldier, every civilian, every man, woman, and child who dared to stand against the encroaching darkness. And as the first tremors of the invasion shook the earth, the unity forged in the crucible of adversity rose up to meet the challenge head-on. Nations set aside their differences, enemies became allies, and the collective will of humanity coalesced into a force to be reckoned with. The invaders, confident in their superiority, descended upon Earth with all the fury of a tempest unleashed. But they had underestimated the resilience of their prey, the tenacity of those who refused to surrender to the darkness. With a thunderous roar, the defenders of Earth rose up to meet the onslaught, their weapons flashing in the dim light of a world on the brink of oblivion. Against all odds, they held the line, pushing back the invaders with a ferocity born of desperation and defiance. And then, in a moment that would be etched into the annals of history for all time, the tide turned. The invaders faltered, their ranks thrown into disarray by the unexpected resistance of their prey. And as the dust settled and the smoke cleared, it became clear that Earth had emerged victorious, its people battered but unbroken, its spirit indomitable in the face of adversity. Against all odds, the invaders were repelled, their plans thwarted by the resilience of humanity and the unwavering resolve of those who dared to believe in the power of hope. And as the sun rose on a new day, the world stood united once more, stronger than ever before, ready to face whatever challenges the future might hold with courage and determination. In the aftermath of the failed invasion, Earth bore the scars of battle, its cities ravaged and its people shaken to their core. But amid the ruins, a spirit of resilience and defiance burned brighter than ever before, a beacon of hope in the darkness that had threatened to consume the world. The harrowing experience served as a stark reminder of the fragility of existence, a wake-up call to the precariousness of life in a universe teeming with unknown dangers. It was a lesson learned in blood and sweat, etched into the collective memory of humanity for generations to come. But amidst the devastation, there emerged a silver lining, a glimmer of hope that shone through the darkness like a guiding star. For in the crucible of adversity, humanity had discovered a strength within itself that transcended the limitations of the flesh, a resilience born of the indomitable spirit of life itself. Communities came together in the aftermath of the invasion, rallying around one another with a sense of solidarity that transcended race, religion, and nationality. Hands reached out to help those in need, voices raised in songs of defiance against the encroaching darkness. And as the stars glittered overhead, casting their gentle light upon a world forever changed by the events that had transpired, humanity stood as a testament to the power of hope and the enduring spirit of life itself. For in the face of overwhelming odds, we had emerged victorious, stronger and more united than ever before, ready to face whatever challenges the universe might throw our way with courage and determination.
Thanks for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe for more Quantum Dimensionals.